Okay, YouTube. I'm going to lay up these moose antlers that I have prepared, and I screwed in some styrofoam around here for the, as you can see, the so I can get a form around the edge of it so that I can lay up. My finger stuck in there. All right, come around this side. I screwed this part that I already made to the other side into the antlers. I drilled holes and put screws in them. Because they're mine, I can do that. And then I used styrofoam to make this form so I can lay up this curved bottom to this tine. Well, it's a couple tines, but. And then I went for this modeling clay around the edges to make a dam, and also I'm tapering the edges so I don't have to make as many molds as I made for this one. This one, I removed all the clay and such off of it, and then I had to re-go and put clay around it again. So it wouldn't, the resin wouldn't leak down to the next layer. Now I might show you some of the layup, but I'm not going to start out doing that because it's boring and whatever. I might show you the end of it, but because then you wet your fiberglass down with resin, mix up the resin and stuff like that. And I have a bunch of resin from years ago, where a former place I used to work, and when it expired they got rid of it, so I just took it home, and it still works good for me, but it wasn't good for whatever I was working on. So anyhow, that's what I'm doing. There's what, 2 layers here already. I'm going to put a third. I'm going to try to get away with, well, you're supposed to have like 6 layers of fiberglass on here because the foam makes pressure. But anyhow, I'm going to try to get by with just a top and a bottom on this one, except for I have to make one for these double tines that are sticking strange, you know. So I gotta make one on one side and one on the other. So it's a little trickier than this one. I was gonna make a seam on them, but I said I was gonna make a seam, but I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna try to do it this way because I gotta speed this stuff up because it's pretty soon getting too cold to pour the foam or whatever around here. So this is what I'm doing now, and the first thing I'll tell you is don't make the same mistakes I did, where you lay up. This should be the first layup, the inside of the palm, and then you should come out 2 inches. That's what they say when they're making mannequins, on taxidermy mannequins. So you come out 2 inches around. Don't have any undercuts so that it locks them together, you know, the two forms or whatever. Because I was getting real fussy with this one, so that's why I made 3 of them, so that I wouldn't have to trim off so much like I did with my plaster ones. But it's like, I'd rather trim off than have to waste time making so many molds and stuff. So anyways, and then after I put the stuff on, then I put that polyvinyl alcohol thing on, the PVA down there, partial fluid. Normally what you'd use is just car wax, and I have a few kinds like this Old Johnson paste wax, and I might smear that on when I put it back together for pouring styrofoam, that 2-part foam in it. So then once I get all this done, then I'll show you what it looks like after it's painted up. This has that polyvinyl stuff on it too. Hopefully it'll be good enough so it won't stick together. But in the meanwhile, what I've been working on, so I haven't been able to do this, is I bought a skid steer, but the carburetor needs work. I took one of the tires off, and it was full of twine and stuff around it. So this is supposed to speed up my barn cleaning. And then I also bought a tractor and a big round baler, real old one, and to speed up time so I don't have to constantly throw small square bales. Getting too old for that, and it takes too much time. And anyhow, I'll get back to you as soon as I get done with this and show you what it looks like.